Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Right, so today is going to be a response video. So I've been watching a lot of YouTubers do videos on what shaped them to get into movies as a child, what films they watched as kids, and what made them be, what films kind of got them into collecting, whether it was an early age, teens, or later on into adult life. And watching these videos was really good. I really enjoyed watching these videos. I mean, yeah, I know Jodie did her 5 films over at Jodie's Movie Realms, and then Roy did his list of Bluray movies. Who else done their videos? Ollie done his films. Even though he's very young, he's done his collection of films as well. And Keith over at Euphoria Pictures, he recently done his as well. And watching all of them, it just brought back a lot of memories for me. Watching films when I was, I mean, we're talking, you know, what, 5, 6, 7. My early years. Now I'll give you a quick sort of story. So my parents used to watch a lot of films. So we used to go to, there must have been like four or 5 choices of VHS rental stores to go to, and I was trying to find pictures of some of them, and I managed to find 2. They were both blockbusters. So there was one on St Albans Road, and then there was a pyramid shaped one in the top of, no, it was the bottom of the Watford Town Centre. Now if you lived in Watford and grew up in Watford, you'll know the VHS stores I mean. And yeah, we used to go there. There was also, I can't think of the other names. There was one in town. There was 2 in town as well, near town, that used to have arcades downstairs as well. So during the day, me and some friends, and you know, we used to go there and just go downstairs and spend time on the arcades. We used to spend, and basically we used to go to this video store. Me, my bro, obviously mum and dad, and we'll just go with like the Blockbuster on St Albans Road, for example, and we used to rent out 3 films. I remember it was always about 3 films, and we would smash them out in that evening, if not 2, because the rentals were always, I can't remember exactly now. I can't remember if they were like 3 days or 7 days until you had to bring them back. I can't remember, but I remember after 2 days we were done. Even after 1 day, sometimes we were done. We'd go back, bring them back, and we'd get another 3. And it was just an ongoing theme at a young age. It was. So there was also, I even found a picture actually of our cinema, the old school cinema in Watford. I found, so I'll put a picture up here, and it used to be 2 screens, £2.50 for entrance as well. You walk in, you had basically, as soon as you walk in, you had the sort of tills there. Left cinema screen 1, right cinema screen 2. Now if you have a look, there's a door, like an emergency exit door, and what we used to do, especially on a big film, like we'd either go in, or friends go in, open the emergency door, and then bam, we can come in through the back. We come in. So yeah, little trick of the trade back in the day with that old cinema it was, but great fun. I mean, one film I remember in particular we went to see was Apollo 13 with Tom Hanks, and the cinema was packed, and there was loads of us. I can't remember exactly how many of us there was, but there was loads of us, and basically opened the fire exit, and most of us got in via that way, and we basically sat at the front on the floor. So the ones that actually bought the tickets had tickets for the front row, and it's not like today's cinema where the front row gives you a bit of a gap to the screen. it was literally front row, screen was right there, and I was one of the ones that was sitting on the floor. No one said anything back in the day. We were just sitting on the floor watching Apollo 13. So that was yeah, that just brought back funny memories. And then as we got into our teens, a couple of friends worked at the View Cinema, which is there now. Obviously, we're talking long time ago. And one film that stands out, because we used to go to the premiere. It was the premiere, not so much the premiere. It was the night before the premiere. So because they worked there, they could bring their mates in, and it was always like a 2 a.m. showing. And the one I remember that sticks out the most was Dusk Till Dawn. No idea what the film was about back then. We just were like, what's the film? Who's in it? Oh, all right, let's go and watch it. And obviously, if you've seen Dusk Till Dawn, you know the story. And watching the first half, it was like, yeah, this is a great film. And then when that happens and you get to the sort of second half, you're like, what have we just watched? But so good as an experience going to the cinema. So that's that's another story with mates. But going back to, I'm kind of going off topic a little bit here, because it brings back a lot of memories of just films in general and cinema and rental of the VHS. But going back to basically the start really with my parents. So my dad, especially my dad, he used to love westerns, Clint Eastwood westerns. So all the ones that are out recently, like your Fistful of Dollars and all the others, Good, Bad and the Ugly, that have all just come out. I used to watch all of them way back when. And you got to think, I was only maybe 5, 6, 7 years old watching these films, and I thought they were great back then. I haven't actually seen them as an adult, so it's something I need to get onto and watch again, just to see how I feel about them today. So there was Charles Bronson's Death Wish. I always remember that. Well, my parents, they were really collectors as well. But what they used to do, because it was only VHS back in the day, my mum used to create this list. So it all used to be in this, I don't know, it was like in this book. So you'd open up this book and you'd have a list of films, and it'll be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on. And you'll have all the names of all the films you'll have. And then on the shelf, they'd all be in these cases, all labelled A, B, C, D, F, G, H, and so on. So we would incorporate, me and my bro, go to this list, open it up. What film do you want to watch? Da, 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 da. Oh yeah, let's watch that. Go to the shelf, pick out the letter, and there's your VHS inside it as well. Well, obviously, and we used to watch it like that. Obviously, once it got to Z, then it was full. Obviously, it was full. Then I just remember we used to start recording on the old Betamax, and we used to be out, because do you remember the old long play? You used to record on long play, and you used to manage to get at least 3 to 4 films on one cassette, and then that just built up, and it was cassette after cassette after cassette of 4 films. There was a lot of films. I'm actually gutted I can't show you them, because who knew I was going to be doing this channel, X amount of years later, and we threw literally everything away. All those cassettes we threw away, and that was probably maybe was it about 2 years ago now, 2 summers ago, because we were clearing out the loft, and we're like, I haven't got space from here, as you can tell. My bro's not got a lot of space as well, so we literally just skipped everything. And I remember at the time when we were skipping it, I was like, I'm gutted. I'd rather put it somewhere and just keep hold of them. But we lost a lot, gave the lot away, and today, yeah, just gutted. I wouldn't be able to show you guys all those cassettes basically. So yeah, so that's basically my sort of background on how how I guess the love of films kind of started. So I grew up really in the 80s. The 80s I grew up, so yeah, action, you know, all your action, peak action. Well, I would call it peak action with your Stallone, Arnie, Van Damme, Bruce Willis. I grew up with all of that. I grew up, and then comedies galore. Whether it's you know, your Gene Wilder, but I've picked a stack of films. I've picked. Obviously, there's loads and loads I'm going to miss out because there's so many films that I can't remember right now. But when I watch YouTubers do films, it pops back into my head because I haven't seen them for so long as well. So there is no order whatsoever to these films, but I didn't even realise how many films I picked. I was just like, yep. I was just picking up all kinds of films, and I've ended up with 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And there's a few that I haven't got, which I do remember. So the ones that I do remember, which is in my head, is which is a massive film I grew up with, which I watched a lot as a kid, is Tom Hanks and Big. So yeah, I'm not going to go into the films itself, but if you've seen it, you know. I mean, Big, for me, back then, I haven't seen it in a long time, but watched it so many times, and I was always impressed with the, you know, the standing piano bit, and that was I just thought that was really good back then. And is it Zoltar? And I always wanted to find a Zoltar machine as a kid as well. So Big was one. Another one was Stir Crazy, Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. I mean, yes, these are films I was watching at 6, 7, 8. There was no boundaries. Cartoons, it existed, but it was really when I got home from school, watch a few cartoons, you know, your standard stuff, Tom and Jerry and Scooby and all that. But it was mainly films we used to watch a lot of at a young age. So Stir Crazy, and that was great. That was so funny as well back then. Again, that's another film I've not seen in, who knows, I can't remember when. So let's go through some of these. Oh, sorry, before I start these, there's another one. I'm not sure if anyone's aware, but because like I said, Dad's Italian, so I watched a lot of like stuff as well. So I don't know if you know Bud Spencer and Terence Hill. They used to do a lot of comedies together. Let me know in the comments if you know about Bud Spencer and Terence Hill. But they were just basically brawlers. It would just consist of fights, basically. Bar fights. Great. Back in the day. Again, not seen it in such a long time, so I don't know what it's like today. But I do remember fond memories of it, watching it back then. Jerry Lewis as well. The comedy of Jerry Lewis. So loads of stuff. That's a film I haven't actually picked out here. You know, the Nutty Professor, the original Nutty Professor, which I loved. So let's just go through a few films. So first one, so I've actually only just picked it up recently, this one, and it's Blazing Saddles. Again, not going to go into the film. If you know the film, you know the film. Very funny. Watched it loads at a young age, you know. I watched this, found it so funny. Then, like I said, there's no particular order of comedy, action, there isn't. Bloodsport, lost count how many times I watched this. Loved it, still love it today. As we're on the Van Damme film, Kickboxer, another one, lenticular cover there, so you can probably see it all moving. That's that one. This is one of my favourites, Terminator. You could put Terminator 2 in there as well if you wish. I mean, there's not much I need to say about Terminator. Watch this, I've lost count. Lost count how many times I've seen this film. Aliens, another one. Aliens, I mean, whichever. They're both cracking films. Again, don't know how many times I watched this. Haven't seen the 4K yet, still sealed. So I still haven't got around to watching it today. But it hasn't been, I have seen this as an adult, so it's not like I haven't seen these as a kid. I already said, if you watch my other videos, I already tell I was having nightmares about this when I was under 10. So yeah, I got introduced to Freddy early on, is what I will say. I got introduced to Freddy. Nightmare on Elm Street. Ah, another one of my faves. First Blood, Rambo, again, lost count. Don't know how many times I've seen it, but yeah, there's not much I can say about this. Classic. Another one, for me, I put the whole franchise in it, but I've just picked up the first one, which is Rocky. Again, I've seen it so many times, but I've seen 2, 3 and 4 a lot more than the original I've seen, because they seem to be on TV way more than, I'm talking about when there was 4 channels, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Rocky wasn't always on. It was hardly ever on. It was always Rocky 2, Rocky 3 and 4 that were always on TV. And every time it was on, I can easily just, wherever it was on, whatever part, even if it was at the end of the like the start of the last fight, I'll just watch it. So Rocky is another one. Then we're back to comedies and the vacation films, whether it's this, the European, the Christmas, the Vegas. The Vegas probably the least one I've seen, but again, another great comedy. Yeah, another one where you countless watches. Weekend at Bernie's. Tell me, you tell me what you think of these films. Weekend at Bernie's, another one. Another Richard Pryor starring film with John Candy, Brewster's Millions. Again, I don't know how many times I've seen this. So yeah, these are films I watched again and again and again. And last one, Planes, Trains and Automobiles. Another one it's a classic. But yeah, these are some of the films. I mean, Die Hard, I could have picked Die Hard as well out of there. There's so many films I could have picked. There's so many films. But yeah, like I said, the 80s, 90s, obviously going into the 90s I was already in my teens, but 80s I was in my sort of 10 and under. I was under 10, so that's when I spent a lot of time getting to know these films. Going into the 90s, obviously re-watching all of these, because these are all of them are all 80s films, I'm pretty sure. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure all of them I picked out were all from the 80s. They were all from. So yeah, so that's my picks and my view on, I guess, films that kind of shaped me, I guess, to where I am today. I mean, there was years that I was going to say that I didn't collect. That's not true actually, because from my parents doing the VHS to moving over to DVD, I started doing DVDs, and then we went to obviously the Blu-rays after that, and obviously I didn't collect as much when I got into my sort of late teens, into my early 20s, because then obviously you start going out more, you start, you know, drinking a bit more, and you start partying a bit more, and the sort of collecting side of it comes in bits and pieces. It comes, but you never lose the drive to go to the cinema. I don't think that ever went. That didn't. So yeah, so from there to Blu-rays, and here we are today with, you know, 4Ks. Obviously collecting today is more of a niche thing, I would say, because I know a lot of people within the community that does it, but if I go to personally, how many people I know personally that collects, I actually don't know anyone. None of my friends do. My brother doesn't. He's got films, my bro, but they're all basically in a box in the garage. Half of it's in my car, to be fair. I've got to give you that back, Mick, actually. So yeah. No one. And I I go to, as a job, I go to customers' houses. You know, I see 7, 8 customers every day, Monday to Friday, and I haven't come across one customer that's got a collection of 4Ks. I've seen customers that have got a small collection of DVDs and some Blu-rays, but no one I've come across has got 4Ks. So my point being, it is a very, very niche market. Even though all the, you know, all these studios that are bringing out great editions of films, and they make them look like Arrow. Obviously, Arrow's great. They make all the films look great, and the editions that come out are really good. And we've got to pay for them. You know, they're not cheap, these discs. So, but it's great to meet people within the community. I guess me doing this now, I've got to meet a lot of great people within the community that does this, and it's great. I interact with a lot of them, obviously loons especially, as I'm in a group of them, but I speak to others that are not in the loons group as well, and I've got a good relationship with them as well. And it's great just giving feedback and what people think of films. It's great. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. So I'm happy where I'm at today, where I started as a kid watching these, to where it is today. I mean, I'm still going. You know, I've got the 4K and everything else. I'm enjoying it, and I guess I'll just keep it going while I enjoy it. I guess, you know, I've enjoyed films since I was a little kid, and I'm still enjoying them today. So I guess that will never go away, I guess. So yeah, right. Enough of me keep talking. I could keep talking, but you know, I think I've covered all bases, from when I was a kid, to my parents, to me as a teen, and to me today. Shown you a handful of films. There could have been loads I could have put on here. I could have dragged this out for ages, but I'm not going to. That I actually don't even know how long I've been talking, so I'm not going to keep it for too long, and I'm going to just wrap it up there. I think we'll just wrap it up there, and that is my vid about me, you know, getting into films as a child, I guess. So yeah, so what I will say is thanks as always. Throw me a like and sub if you do like what I'm doing. Throw me your comments. I'm always happy to read comments, always happy to reply. So yeah, it's good for me to see all the good comments or bad comments. Either or, I can take it, good or bad. So yeah, I'll read all comments. But yeah, thanks again, and I guess I'll catch you on the next vid, whenever it will be. End of the week, like normal, I guess. All right, guys, take care, and see you at the next one.